Hello, good morning. Welcome to the new chapter and also last chapter in first year biology, that is chemical coordination. Before we have taken that chapter, in that we have learned about neural coordination. That nervous system is there. Here, endocrine system is there. Chemical coordination by endocrine system. Endocrine system. You just recall the animal structural organization in animals, that are animal tissues. In the part of epithelial tissue, I have explained glands, glandular epithelium. Just recall that knowledge. Actually, if this is the gland, in that some chemical is synthesized, but without any duct, the chemical is released into bloodstream. This is the bloodstream, and through blood it reaches their respective targets. Then there is no doubt that chemical is nothing but hormone. Hormones are secreted by a gland called endocrine gland, where exocrine glands are secreting enzymes. That enzymes are reaching their targets through ducts. That's why they are called duct glands. As they do not have a ducts, they are called ductless glands. Ductless glands. So chemicals, nothing but hormones, are coordinating a lot of activities in our body. Let us see how many hormones are there and how many glands there belongs to release them. Endocrine system is also called ductless glandular system and also called hormonal system. Hormone, a chemical that act as secondary messenger, to regulate physiological activities inside the cell. Then, in a particular target tissues, hormone may be protein, hormone may be glycoprotein, hormone may be lipid or fat called steroid. So, proteinous hormones are present, glycoprotein, carbohydrates and proteins combination hormones also there, and proteins also, fat hormones also there. These two are called water soluble hormones. Water soluble hormones means what? They are likely to dissolve in water, so that they are hydrophilic in nature. Hydrophilic hormones. Both the names are same. If the hormone is made up of lipid or fat or steroid, then this is called water insoluble hormone. Water insoluble hormone means these hormones are likely to dissolve in few organic solutions, but not in water. They are called hydrophobic hormones. Hydrophobic hormones. So, according to the nature, hormones are two types: hydrophilic and hydrophobic. Hydrophilic hormones reach their targets, nothing but it is the cell, and here external receptor complex will be present, and this hormone will go and bind, and further secondary messengers helps for the activities. What does it mean? Water soluble hormones means they never dissolve in fat. As the cell membrane is made up of lipid layer, these water soluble hormones, nothing but they are made up of proteins or glycoproteins, cannot enter cell. In second case, if you see this, water insoluble, this hormone directly goes inside the cell. Why? This hormone is made up of fat, and this hormone is crossing the layer. This is cell membrane. This is cell membrane, that is lipid bilayer, isn't it? Cell, the functional unit of life, we have learned the cell membrane structure. So cell membrane is lipid layer, so that some hormones which are lipid made can directly pass through this. No restrictions. Whereas if the hormone is made up of protein or glycoprotein, they cannot enter. So that they need secondary messengers. So water soluble hormones require secondary messengers, where water insoluble hormones doesn't require. This is one basic concept about what is hormone. Okay, hormone is a chemical that is secreted by endocrine glands. Endocrine glands, many are there. After some time, you will come to know that a hormone not always protein. Hormone may be protein, may be glycoprotein, may be lipid. If it is protein or glycoprotein, then they are dissolved in water, but not dissolved in fats. If a hormone is lipid or steroid, they never dissolve in water, but they dissolve in fat. That is why their actions can be done inside the cell. Which hormone actions can be done from outside the cell? Water soluble hormones. Let us see these two mechanisms in little bit. What we are learning now is mechanism of hormonal action. Hormonal action. Mechanism of hormonal action is of two types. Outside the cell and inside the cell. Okay. Outside the cell by lipid insoluble hormones. Lipid insoluble or water soluble hormones. I hope you understand. A hormone which is lipid insoluble, which never dissolving fats, means which is easily dissolving water. Vice versa. Here, hormonal action when it is inside the cell, when it is lipid soluble. When it is lipid soluble and water insoluble. Water insoluble hormone. Clear? Now, just think this is the cell membrane. This is the cell membrane. Target cell membrane of the hormone. By the bloodstream, the hormone reaches near to the cell. This is hormone. Which hormone? Lipid insoluble or water soluble. They need external receptors to receive it. What is this? External hormonal receptor. Once it is reached to this, contacted to this, then inside some proteins, inner side of the membrane, some proteins can mobilize and produce enzymes. Okay. And these enzymes helps to activate the CAMP, very important in this case. If I explain in this manner, it will be very dry. So to understand easily, let me take an example. This hormone is glucagon hormone. Glucagon hormone. Glucagon hormone is produced in the pancreas, which comes to liver, means which targets liver when in our blood glucose levels are coming down. Means in our blood, glucose levels are coming down is the situation, hypoglycemia situation. That time pancreatic alpha cells release glucagon hormone. That hormone reaches to the target, nothing but liver. In the liver, glycogen breaks into glucose and that glucose comes to blood and make its normal stage. I repeat, there is a condition in our blood is less glucose called hypoglycemia. To make it solve the problem, pancreatic alpha cells release the hormone called glucagon. This glucagon hormone comes and binds to liver cell. This is liver cell. This is liver cell. When liver cell accepts the glucagon, inside what happens? Some mechanism will happen, and ultimately what should be produced? Glucose should be released into the blood. Why? Problem is less glucose in the blood. Let us see how glucose will release. So when glucagon binds the receptor, why I taken the glucagon? Glucagon is protein made hormone. Protein made means not lipid insoluble. Sorry, means not lipid soluble or water, lipid insoluble or water soluble. Now let us see when glucagon comes, then inside a protein, nothing but a G protein activated and gives an enzyme, adenylate cyclase, whatever it is. This enzyme is important to activate CAMP. What is CAMP? Cyclic AMP. AMP means what? Adenylate monophosphate. You know very well ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Like that, adenosine monophosphate is there. This adenosine monophosphate will be activated by this enzyme and it comes and convert phosphokinase into phosphokinase A. Phosphokinase, inactivated one, becomes, it activates phosphokinase, inactivated ones become phosphokinase A. A means what? Activated. So this is now in activated form. If this is not activated, this product will not come. This is activated by enzyme. Enzyme is activated by protein. Protein is activated by hormonal receptor complex. It is activated by binding of hormone. I repeat from first. If it is not bind, this protein will not produce enzyme. If this enzyme is not produced, this cyclic AMP will not be developed. This cyclic AMP will not develop. Inactivated phosphokinase enzyme cannot be converted into phosphokinase A. Now, because of its association, it has been erased. Then what is the purpose of phosphokinase A? So, actually in the liver, glycogen can be stored. It is animal starch. This is glycogen, isn't it? When the phosphokinase A is a scissor-like thing, it cuts glycogen into so many pieces. And this all glycogen molecules releases glucose. So these free glucose molecules goes to blood. Actually in blood what condition is maintaining? Hypoglycemia. Means less glucose molecule. Now glucose molecules are adding into the blood because of whose action? Because of glucagon hormone action. Glucagon hormone is one of the hormone from the pancreas which is coming according to the situation. So hormones will be produced according to the situation, not 24/7. Whereas enzymes actions may be developed, but hormonal actions are instant. So this is how, this is the function. Releasing of glucose into the blood is function by the help of all these activities, cascade mechanisms. Every step is depends upon its before step. So glucagon is not entered. Remember, in the any phenomenon or hormonal action, if it is made up of protein or glycoprotein, the same kind of things. It has to bind to the receptor, and inside so many changes will happen. Ultimately, the desired function will be occurred. In case here, if CAMP is not there, then further action. Suppose this is the action number 1, this is action number 2, this is action number 3, this is action number 4. All 4 actions are not being organized by glucagon. Glucagon helps to activate the protein, furtherly enzyme. After that, this cyclic AMP is also simply called CAMP, carried out 3rd and 4th reactions. If you think the hormone glucagon is a primary messenger, then cyclic AMP, CAMP is secondary messenger. That is why I told you secondary messengers are required for only the actions of lipid insoluble hormones or hydrophilic hormones, not lipid soluble hormones. Reason, in the lipid soluble hormones, if this is a hormone, this hormone directly enters the cell. In the cytoplasm, they directly enter. But whereas this is the hormone, this hormone is not entered even the cell. This is the major difference. Why it is not entered? If you ask me, then I can say this is not lipid made. Why? The cell membrane is lipid made. If it is lipid, then they will allow to inside the cell. As it is not lipid made, the cell membrane will not allow for the receptors are present. Here no receptors are present. I hope you understand the lipid insoluble hormonal action. Secondly, on the other side, how the lipid soluble hormonal actions can be done. Let me tell you, if this is a steroid hormone nothing but lipid soluble hormone. Steroid is lipid, as this chemical is lipid, this is also lipid allows lipid, so inside the cytoplasm the hormone comes. Then no cell membrane receptors are required. Once it comes, if it is the nucleus, inside the nucleus what will be there? DNA will be there. This hormone will come and interact with the DNA and develop some genes later that produce proteins. That is how they express the things as a protein, or sometimes they interact with the DNA and carry their characterization to the next generation. It is very easy. Steroidal hormonal actions are inside the cell. Non-steroidal hormones or protein-made hormones or water-soluble hormones actions are outside the cell. Means they attach it to the cell, they perform inside by the help of secondary messengers. Do you find any secondary messengers here? No. Secondary messengers are not required here. Secondary messengers are required here. This is how two hormonal actions are differentiating each other. Now let us see how many glands are there to secrete different types of hormones in our body. Endocrine glands in human means glands though can produce the hormones. How many number in human? Let me give you an imaginary picture. From top to bottom, let me give you the idea. This is the first endocrine gland. This is called epiphyseal gland. Epiphyseal gland. Epiphyseal gland is also called pineal gland. Pineal gland. Second one, below the epiphyseal gland, there is a second gland called hypothalamus. Hypothalamus, I told you that is the part of forebrain, diencephalon. It is also have a function in endocrine system. That is why it acts as a bridge between nervous system and endocrine system. Hypothalamus, bridge between nervous system and endocrine system. And third one, hypothalamus is connected to master gland called pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. Okay. Pituitary gland is also called master gland of endocrine system. Pituitary gland, another name is the hypophyseal gland. Hypophyseal gland. If you see the terminology, below the hypothalamus, hypophyseal, above the hypothalamus, epiphyseal. Epi, above, hypo, below. That's the direction. Next, at the trachea, thyroid gland is present. Thyroid gland is present. We can address this is fourth one, this is third one, this is second one, this is first one. And either side of the thyroid gland, there would be parathyroid gland is present. Parathyroid gland. thyroid gland and parathyroid gland. Both are present at neck region above the trachea. Now, if you think this is the heart, here thymus gland is present. Number 6. Thymus gland is present. Then at the pancreas, some part is secreting enzymes into the digestive system, pancreatic enzymes. Rest of part is secreting hormones. Hormone secreting part is called islets of Langerhans. Islets of Langerhans. Actually, pancreas have both endocrine and exocrine part. This is exo and this is endo. These two parts are having by pancreas. That's why it is called mixed gland. Pancreas is mixed gland. Endocrine part of the pancreas is called islets of Langerhans. That is 7th part. Next, 8th part. If you see here in the lower abdomen, kidneys are present. Above the kidneys, in each kidney, there will be adrenal glands are present. Adrenal glands. Let me give the number for the adrenal glands. That is 8. 8th number. Then lower the abdomen, there are one pair of gonads are present. They are called gonads. Gonads, in case of male, they are testes. In case of female, they are ovaries. Clear? They are the testes. They are the ovaries in respective genders. The number I am giving for this is 9. Either anyone is present in one individual. So total number of endocrine glands in each individual is 9. In case of male, epiphyseal, hypophyseal, pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, thymus, islets of Langerhans, adrenal glands and testes. That's it. In case of female, along with all the 8 ovaries will be there instead of testes. That is how 9 glands are there. On the 9, if you see, ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. Germinal layers are 3. When we develop in our embryonic time, we have 3 layers. From the 3 layers, systems will be developed. Endocrine system is not entirely developed by one germinal layer. If you understand, epiphyseal glands are developed by ectoderm. Ectoderm. Hypothalamus is developed or derived from ectoderm. Pituitary gland is developed or derived from ectoderm. Understand? So, ectoderm helps to derive the 3 endocrine glands here, that is epiphyseal, hypothalamus and hypophyseal. Whereas thyroid gland is endodermal. Parathyroid gland, endodermal. Thymus gland, endodermal. And either gonads, endodermal. Islets of Langerhans, endodermal. So many of the endocrine glands are derived from endoderm. Understand? Then where mesoderm is present, if you see adrenal gland, which is exception, which is dual derived, it's cortex, medulla, outer part, inner part. Inner part is derived from ectoderm. Outer part is derived from mesoderm. So finally, from the mesoderm, adrenal cortex is only derived. So this is what a brief information about total number of endocrine glands, their locations, their derivation. Next couple of classes, for every class 1 or 2 or 3 glands individually, detailedly will be discussed. In the starting part of the chemical coordination I have given what is hormone, where does it is coming from, how many types of hormones, what chemically hormone is, and how does their actions inside or outside according to their nature, and also total number of endocrine glands and their derivation only. Next class I'll take you into the each and every gland, their secretions, their abnormalities, their functions, everything. All the best. See you in the next class.